the first thing I've been thinking about lately is the border. And I'm normally not a person that's interested in this topic because I'm a proponent of open borders personally. But people aren't here to hear what Kiko has to think about this. I want to really get you all's view because you all are in Texas and you have a proximity with something like this that I don't have a proximity to necessarily. So I guess my initial question is there any validity to concerns from a lot of these, I guess I'll call them conservative lawmakers, when they talk about these people coming to the border, there's a border crisis. You always hear about this in the news. I guess that's my first question. Is there validity to that? And how could you speak to that based on any personal experiences and just being in the state of Texas in general?
Um, I would say the only validity would be the danger that comes with making that trek, and the inherent like just negative things that'll happen. People who will get involved in trafficking people, taken advantage of. And yeah, I think that when you're talking about the border crisis, this is just me personally, the real discussion or conversation or whatever should be had on, why do so many people want to leave their country and try to come to this country? What is happening, or what has happened, or what is going on in these other countries that is causing all these problems? And the answer is the American foreign policy and the wars and the coups and the deposing of duly elected leaders and the economic
sanctions,
yeah. Not even sanctions, just I don't want to use that word, the economic
I don't know,
marauding that's going on. There's no other real way for it. I mean, the people are yeah, yeah, it's the American foreign policy that is the real discussion. It's not just it shouldn't start with like whatever, oh, they're coming here to whatever, take our jobs, or they're rapists or whatever. It's like, why would you want to like walk 1,000 miles and leave your home to go to, like, how terrible would it have to be for you if you lived in fucking sorry, can I swear on this?
Of course you can. This
okay.
is free talk. This is free talk, OC.
If you lived in fucking Nebraska.
It's Sunday morning, OC, how dare you?
Yeah. Jesus understands. If you lived in fucking Nebraska, what would cause you to walk 2,000 miles to go to a different country to start a life for you and your children? It would have to be like pretty terrible. And I think, that should be the real discussion of like, why is the American, why is it our policy to destroy these other countries economically? We have to deal with that we're all benefiting from that in some way. Or at least we're all complacent in that, if we don't speak up and do something about it. But yeah, that's my take.
Just to kind of piggyback off on that, because like just on the phrase we're all benefited from this, I'm starting to question how much we actually are benefiting from this, like as a collective, which is the kind of like a mythology that is sold for acceptance, right? If something were to, I don't know, go horribly wrong, and all of a sudden peace was to break out in the world, and the United States was no longer, putting its fingers into every single pie that it could possibly do as far as like governments around the world, we don't actually know that. We don't actually know a world where we're not manipulating and we're not meddling in other people's affairs. So to kind of like answer the original question, I don't necessarily think that I have an experience that I can explain as far as like what's happening on the border. I think I would say it's more like you guys, where you do hear about, people getting taken advantage of. I'm more, because I'm close to the Hispanic community, might have a little bit more knowledge about what it takes to make that track. But honestly, like, I think what happens in the US is that a lot of the time when we're talking about these kind of issues, to give an example, like the story starts, like when people are saying the narrative, I give it the equivalent of saying, like, if I tell you this story that, oh, breaking news, there was a little blonde white girl that was savagely killed because she was found sleeping in the bed of, well, she was found sleeping in a bed and 3 bears came in the house and they just killed her. They attacked her and they killed her. Like, that's one story. And we could go with that story, but that story, we all know that story. A little girl came into somebody's house and started doing stuff and, using things and not doing what she was supposed to do and whatever. But you can start that story where it makes sense different ways. And that's what happens in America. Like, everybody's just, okay, there's a mass of people at the border. Yeah, we're sanctioning the hell out of Venezuela right now. We're Nicaragua. Nicaragua is still recuperating. I think they have like a right-wing government right now that we had a hand in putting in there by non-democratic way, let's just say. So yeah, and that hasn't been happening last week, last month, last 10 years. That's been happening for decades. So yeah, chickens are coming home to roost.
Yeah.
For the full episode, please visit Kiko's Free Thinkers Forum on your favorite podcasting platform. We also have a YouTube channel. There's plenty of content available for you and your family. Please subscribe to your friends and family. And remember, you can't unthink free thought.